Now, Jeremy, other heavily anticipated issues, among them ahead of this president's address last night, was that of e-commerce. And there wasn't much coming from the president except that rules may be relaxed soon. Industry players have bemoaned the restrictions placed on online retailers and e-commerce during this lockdown. We get some insight now from the CEO of TakeALot.com, Kim Reid. He joins us via Skype. Kim, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. Presumably, you would have expected more favorable news on e-commerce restrictions from the president last night. It didn't happen, though.
Well, perhaps you would have actually expected some news, Devin. There's no news at the moment. He did mention something about e-commerce obliquely, but as such, right now, we're unsure as to what is actually going to happen.
Well, what are the consequences to that? I mean, to what extent are these restrictions suffocating the smaller business that supply you and those involved in distribution?
Well, Devin, you know, we're an enablement platform as well as our own platform. So we had approximately 3,000 sellers on the platform selling their own goods using our distribution and payment mechanisms and our marketing. When lockdown came down in level 5, that dropped right down to 500, and we've just actually looked at the numbers. There are about 1,000 to 1,300 sellers. 1,000 of those sellers right now have not sold anything since the lockdown started, and 1,300 of them, that's including the 1,000, if we just look at the additional 300 to 400 sellers on top of that, are probably trading at about 10 to 15% of their previous revenue. Now, these sellers cannot continue like this, and this is what's so important, is timing is so important right now. You know, every day that ticks by without any changes to regulations will be another business out of business and more jobs lost.
Considering that and measuring it against the backdrop of the argument by the Trade and Industry Minister, who says it's unfair to completely release e-commerce, it's unfair against physical stores, how have you digested that argument?
Now, Devin, that actually frustrates me because, you know, the World Trade Organization last week published something that said e-commerce actually increases competition. It enables businesses. There's no competition issue here. There's been another discussion around the fact that there'll be too many vehicles on the road. These are daft discussions. They're illogical and irrational. And e-commerce should be trading at 100% of capacity right now, if not more. If you have a look at elsewhere in the world, in fact, e-commerce has increased substantially during this time, allowing businesses to trade and commerce to continue.
Just finally, Kim, you know, on the safety and risk level here, you still have warehouses that you're dealing with. There's some social interaction there. How safe is e-commerce, comparatively speaking?
In a warehouse environment, we've taken all steps to prevent any type of infection. So, and we know that we won't be able to prevent it forever because the infection rate is going to increase in the country. But if you take the right steps, you can protect employees pretty well. So we have temperature sensors at the entrance, so people have their temperatures taken. We have sanitizer throughout the organization. Everyone gets a mask. That's a cloth mask right now. That mask gets washed daily and sanitized and given back to the employees the following day, so they get a new mask the following day. We have a nurse on site. We transport our workers to and from the warehouses at great cost, so that there are only 6 in a vehicle. And then we've also just gone through, and I think we're at about 85 to 90% of all of our employees in the warehouse right now have received flu injections as well. So we've taken good care of our workers in our warehouse, and I'm sure that most players in the industry, if not all players, can actually adopt exactly the same procedures.
All right, Kim Reid, the CEO of TakeALot.com, thanks very much indeed.